Yes, everyone, and welcome back to Punches and Pundits. We're here for a new episode. Before we start, like, comment, subscribe on YouTube. And if you're listening on Spotify or Apple Podcasts, make sure to follow us for just checking us out. And we'll start off. We didn't have any UFC yesterday. It's one of the rare weeks where we didn't have any, but we had an interesting fight. And I must admit, throughout the build-up, I wasn't too, my excitement levels for this fight, they weren't high. But, it felt like it was just kind of like two granddads going at it, having a tear up. Masvidal and Diaz had a boxing fight. And, what do you think?
They had a good fight in MMA. I remember their fight back in MMA. Unfortunately,
BMF title, the inaugural.
Diaz got an injury, a massive cut. The guy has a lot of scar tissue, so he's known for cutting up. But the referee, for me, stopped that bit early. But this rematch for me came a bit too late. Both guys are way past their prime. It was it was a fun fight. I would never not tune into a Nate Diaz fight. A tough guy. He has those boxing fundamentals, He's a bit sloppy now, but his chin is always there. And it was interesting to see. Masvidal was cracking him with some serious punches.
But do you think Masvidal still got heat like that?
Masvidal still has the power. You don't lose your power. No, but one thing is you don't lose your power when it comes to when you age as a combat sports athlete, a boxer, MMA, whatever. You do not lose your power. You could become slower. Your reaction time's different. You're not the same counter punch you are, but one thing you don't lose is your power. It wasn't the best fight to watch from a technical standpoint, but still.
But when is a Nate Diaz like?
To be honest, no. A prime Nate Diaz was a technical guy. I remember a Michael Johnson fight, one of my favorite fights in terms of technique. But this fight right here, good two legends going at it. They made their money. I thought Masvidal won. But yeah, we could speak on that.
But the scorecard did not say that.
The fight was in California, wasn't it? So people are saying Nate Diaz is from there. He's the hometown fighter. So they kind of preferred him. But I'd say Masvidal landed the better punch, the harder punches. But obviously the volume will be with Nate Diaz.
Do you do a third fight?
I don't think there's a point to do a third fight. I'd just say...
They're one-on-one, isn't it?
Yeah, one-on-one, but... Yeah, a third fight for them, but I don't think anyone's really going to be interested in terms of who wins, to be honest. It's not.
Well, Masvidal said that...
It's a nothing fight.
Well, Masvidal and Nate Diaz said that they have a future in the UFC. Like, this is just like a little pit stop.
No chance.
No chance?
I'll be real, no chance. Dana White, he's not the kind of guy. Unless they can do the McGregor fight, I doubt it.
Nate Diaz said he wants Leon Edwards.
Yeah, that is...
He wants the title shot.
Yeah, that's probably taking too many punches to the head. Because that is not a smart fight for him. In MMA, so if it's in boxing, okay, but in MMA... Leon Edwards would probably stop him. And I don't say a lot of people can stop Nate Diaz, but I'd reckon he'd stop him.
Masvidal said that he definitely is going to have like 2-3 boxing fights and then he's going to move over back to the UFC. Yeah.
With Masvidal, there's always that rivalry he's got with McGregor. Obviously, they go back and forth. If McGregor loses to Chandler and he still needs an opponent, that has a bit of pedigree,
that's not a bad shout.
That has a bit of a name,
that
he has history with, I'd say bring Masvidal back. But unless it's a McGregor fight, there's no real fights for him. He's never going to win a belt in the UFC. Neither is Nate Diaz. So I'd say keep on doing what you're doing. Maybe go into the misfit scene, fight some of those boxers. Yeah, he's got the misfits.
Try to fight at KSI or something.
He's even got his own bare knuckle organization, Game Bread, bare knuckle, whatever it's called. He can go into that, and do his thing. Bare knuckle. He might sign for PFL, Bellator, but with the UFC, I doubt it. Dana White's he's a bit of a stubborn guy. When he gets rid of you, he doesn't really call you back.
Nah, I hear that. So, yeah. And I don't really see a future in MMA for either one of them, to be honest.
No, neither, to be honest. They done their thing. Listen, Nate Diaz, when he was in his prime, obviously beating Michael Johnson, then beating McGregor.
Yeah.
That little run he went on, he done his thing. But listen, he should have gone.
Yeah.
And another guy that should be gone, I just want to mention it. Tony Ferguson has been scheduled.
Why are you getting on to my boy?
No, he's been scheduled for a fight against Michael Chiesa on a fight night card, which is probably the most stacked card. I think it's the card.
Where is it? Saudi Arabia card?
Abu Dhabi, I think it's Abu Dhabi fight night, which is one of the most stacked cards I've seen. When I was looking through that card, I was skimming through and I saw Tony Ferguson. I couldn't believe it. This guy was in an 7-fight losing streak.
Was he on the prelims or main card? Surely he's still main card.
Probably prelims, to be honest.
No way.
It's that stacked.
I need to check that.
That card is that stacked.
What is it? The Sanhagen?
Sanhagen's on that card. I think
That's on that card. It's not even a sleeper fight, but if you
what the Sanhagen?
If you love MMA, that is one of the most intriguing matchups.
Listen, I say it every episode. that bantamweight division
Yeah, it's a shark tank.
is a shark tank for me. It's one of the best divisions in the UFC in terms of, you know, you look at all the fighters. You can go from number 1 to 10 in the rankings at bantamweight. They're all elite fighters. So many young talents coming
But
through.
Umar's got that hype, obviously, because he's like
big step up in competition. Sanhagen for me, the second best striker or the best striker in bantamweight, one of the best strikers in the UFC. It will definitely be a tough fight for him on the feet. But if Umar does what we know he can do, pressure him, take him down, then it'll be interesting. But we'll see.
I mean, if Tony loses to Chiesa, like
I think they're waiting for Tony to, I don't know, have a severe injury or something. It's not even funny at this point because you know I'm worried about. I mean, after that knockout to Chandler, he should have left. In my opinion, Dana should have pulled him to the side. You know, listen, we'll do one more fight, and they're giving him a tough guy. Chiesa's still got it.
I don't know.
Chiesa, I mean, on the feet, he's not really going to get rocked, but
Tony, I think that's the reason why. Like, what? Is he going to get submitted? Is Tony going to get submitted?
He's going to take him down. Tony
to be
Ferguson,
fair, he let Bobby Green submit him, innit?
Yeah, but Tony Ferguson, for me, he's never had that takedown defense. But what he had was that submission offense off his back.
Yeah.
That's not going to work against Chiesa. So he's going to get taken down, smothered, and it will be a decision 3 rounds.
Yeah, is it?
I'm telling you what's going to happen. He's going to lose every round. It'll be a 30-27.
I think Dana will call it a day.
I mean, he has to.
Dana will at eight fight losing streak, or he'll say, "I'll give you one more," but the whole promo around it is this is your retirement fight. You know how like Robbie Lawler,
even Michelle Waterson,
like Robbie Lawler, everyone knew this was going to be his last fight, and he got a knockout as well, which was crazy.
But the thing is,
they promoted it in that way.
Yeah, but are they trying to make him fight out his contract? I need to look into it, but it may be a case where he's just signed a mad contract, like a 10-fight contract.
They wouldn't have signed him.
Then what is this blind loyalty shown to Tony Ferguson? I don't understand. It's not like him and Tony were like best of buddies. Do you know what I mean? It's like
Tony was a company
man. Tony was a company
though.
man. I know, but
he fought Gaethje when he didn't need to.
Yeah, I know, but it's like
he fought.
There should be a cut-off point. There should be a cut-off point. You can't lose 7 fights in a row.
Yeah,
you know, get knocked out the way he did against Michael Chandler. Has he even won a round? I mean,
he didn't get finished against Paddy.
Yeah, the Paddy fight he looked alright, but still, I'd say listen. And the thing is, he's going up in weight. He's going to 170 now.
Yeah, he's not going to cut
bigger
down
guys.
To 155
if he's getting held down and taken down by smaller guys, imagine what Chiesa will do to him. But for me, another guy that's on that card, I just remembered, Nick Diaz is fighting on that card against Luque. A crazy card.
I had.
What's your thoughts on Nick? And he's going down to 170, which is an interesting thing.
I'll start off with Luque. I had my stocks were pretty high with him at a stage when he beat Woodley, and then he started, you know, like the step up in competition. He was in the top 10 in the welterweight division. He was going on a nice run. What ended he had a brain bleed. So he had a brain bleed, I saw that, and like obviously he got knocked out with Jeff Neal.
Was that before the Woodley or after the Woodley?
No, it was after. He went on the night.
Because he hasn't been the same since then.
No, he hasn't been the same since the Jeff Neal knockout at the Apex.
Yeah, it
was a nasty one. Yeah. But talking of Chiesa, he submitted Chiesa. He was on a nice run. Yeah, this one, Chiesa was like a solid welterweight. Luque will beat Nick Diaz. I'm not gonna lie to you.
Nick Diaz. Listen, for me, prime Nick Diaz, my favorite fighter of all time in MMA. I've always said it. No, I've always said it. Just my favorite fighter. He's not the best fighter of all time.
Why?
But he's just my favorite fighter. That style for me, a striker that pressures you, doesn't take a step back, and if you take him down, has the submission offense. That's my kind of style. Not really a wrestler. I just like that style. Him and a prime Nick Diaz. That style for me is a perfect style. It's another reason why I like Holloway as well. But for me, Nick Diaz, what doesn't make any sense. If you remember his last fight at middleweight, 185 pounds, he was fighting.
It was against Lawler.
Yeah, he fought Lawler at 185 pounds.
And then Lawler was like, you okay?
Yeah, but if you look at the way...
Yeah, he was too beefy.
He was beefy. He looked very heavy. Yeah, apparently, he had a back injury going into that fight because he did look ripped and shredded in camp. But it'll be interesting to see him make 170 pounds. When was the last time he made 170 pounds? Probably, 6-7 years ago? So, it's a bit of an interesting one there. We know Dana White kind of struggles to negotiate with the Diaz brothers. This may be Dana White.
The fact that he's fighting in Abu Dhabi is kind of mad as well. I wouldn't have expected.
No, I mean...
Is it
a cannabis thing where he's a
probably
weed smoker?
Do you know what? Probably.
Apart from that, we know they're probably a bit strict on cannabis and stuff. But
yeah, they are. But
I'd say Abu Dhabi is a good place to fight. Abu Dhabi, Saudi, is where the money is. I'd say he's making a bit more money fighting there as well. And Abu Dhabi used to be the hotspot for jiu-jitsu back in the day, wasn't it? A lot of the jiu-jitsu
Yeah, you just know, like,
competitions happen
sometimes
there.
some fighters are reluctant to go there and whatnot. They
Yeah,
like
but
fighting.
that's only those nationalists, like, you know, the guys like
Strickland.
Strickland who are proper pro USA,
But
and
even
he's a bit
Gaethje,
wild
do you
though.
remember when Gaethje, he had a whole shebang about when he fought
What
Khabib, and
what happened? What with
where
that
he was just
IVs?
complaining. He was like,
Yeah,
he
you
was
lost it.
like, it wasn't quite right. Whereas Dustin Poirier,
That's
when he
just
fought Khabib, he
yeah.
said he had nothing to do with that. Khabib was just a better guy, but
Yeah, I mean
Gaethje was kind of making.
Gaethje's just, I don't know. It's probably he's not used to fighting abroad. You know, I think all of his fights before that were in the US when he was fighting in UFC and before.
Yeah.
But when it comes to Nick Diaz, for me, the talking point is, first of all, is it a 5-round fight? We don't know. If it's a
No,
5-round
it wouldn't
fight,
be. Why would it be
no,
5?
but the UFC do that stuff.
Yeah, but
Nick Diaz is
they
coming
do
back
they
just
do
to give
it.
him
They pick and choose.
Yeah,
They
but
will,
just to give him a bit of an advantage. We know the Diaz brothers get better as the fight goes on.
Luke's had plenty of. He's had main events and
Yeah,
stuff, so
no,
he can fight
100%.
five
But it's
rounds.
like to give Diaz a chance, you've got to make it 5 rounds.
No, but Luke will win.
He should
That's-
win.
He should win. Even
But
though,
I'd love
to
to
be
see
fair, I
Nick pull
expected
off.
him to beat Buckley, and then Buckley
Me
beat
too.
him.
Even that Buckley for me.
It's a weird one with Buckley.
With Buckley, he's one of those guys, a bit of a yo-yo fight at 170, 185 pounds. But he quickly realized he's too small for that 185 pound division. Sorry, and his coaches or his management sat down with him and said, "Listen, you've got to go down in weight." And look how well
He's done a nice little run. Yeah,
Fair
yeah.
play to him, man. He's probably gonna fight a ranked guy next in the top 10 at least.
100%.
And he might push on for a title. You know, fair play to him. He's calling out McGregor, which is a bit wild.
Yeah.
You know, pump the brakes a bit.
Yeah, DC
But,
and stuff just getting onto him and be
yeah,
like,
it's
why would you
interesting.
use your call out after a solid win to call out
and then he
McGregor?
was
But
calling out DC. But an interesting thing is, following from Nate Diaz, he made a funny call out after the fight. A very funny call out. I don't really like that call out.
what is it? The Edwards.
Yeah, the Edwards, which is a funny call out. But
He said
I'd say, listen, another fight, just relax, mate. Do your thing, make your money. But all these guys calling people
but
out.
he doesn't go straight into a title shot regardless. Like even if he was going back to the UFC.
Yeah, but yeah.
Even though
We
you'll say
won't see him
in the
UFC.
streets, like he would say in the streets, 30 more seconds, and Edwards
all
is.
the streets bullshit though. It's you're combat sports fighters. You're professional.
You know
fighters.
it's 15 minutes.
Let's stop this like street talk. Like
Yeah.
it's a 15-minute fight. And what
It's
annoys
almost
me
like
about,
a job. Like
yeah, what annoys me about Diaz as well, when he hurts guys, he walks away from them. He was even taunting last night against Masvidal.
yeah.
What is this, bro? Show some hunger. Show some eagerness to win the fight.
mean, yeah.
He doesn't have that killer instinct, Diaz. And that's what's held him back.
Diaz just going crazy.
He doesn't have a
like-
killer instinct. And one thing that Nick Diaz had in his prime was killer instinct. When he had you hurt, he pressured
picked
you and he
his
stopped
shots.
you. Look at the BJ Penn fight. Look at the fight he had with Lawler back in the day. Not the one they just had now, but back in the day.
Yeah.
Look how good
Yeah,
he was then.
that was a movie.
Exactly. That
was a movie.
That is what you should do when you've got a guy hurt. Pressure him.
All right, cool. So let's talk about the landscape at 155 pounds, because I don't know. It just feels like sometimes, yeah, every so often, it feels like the top lightweights, they just get on their phone and they just log into Twitter and they just like flying messages to each other like, yeah, Dustin's not entertaining, or maybe I got one more in me. Yeah, he's
To
saying,
fight who though?
well, that's a whole
the thing.
discussion to be had.
Who does he fight? I mean,
If he comes back,
it has to be Gaethje.
that's a good shout.
Trilogy.
But if he gets back and Conor is there, that trumps the Chandler fight. I'm sorry, it
No,
does.
100%.
The history, the fact that, I mean, if McGregor's sitting right here and he's got Dustin and Chandler, he's picking, I want to fight. I want to fight
He wants to
Dustin.
avenge his loss.
He wants to avenge his loss. There's bad blood. I think he picks Dustin. So if Dustin's guaranteed, you know what, I have one more in me.
Yeah. But the smart thing for McGregor to do is to take Chandler, which is I don't want to say easier fight, but a more winnable fight. Beat Chandler, get the cobwebs off. First fight back after your leg break. He's also had a toe issue.
Yeah.
Get a bit of momentum going and then fight Poirier.
Yeah, because
coming off a
the
win.
way Dustin fought Islam, like that version there beats McGregor.
That version there beats most lightweights. Forget McGregor. That version of Dustin beats a lot of the lightweights. He looked very good. It's just Makhachev's on another level. But it's not a smart fight for me, for McGregor to go straight into that Poirier fight. He's without a win in a long time. Get a win just before you go up against the top guys.
Yeah.
But speaking of the lightweight division, it's a very, very interesting division because I think we've spoken about this. Sarukin's obviously been banned for a bit.
Yeah.
You've got Gaethje coming off the loss to Holloway, knockout loss. He's going to be out for a bit as well. He's probably been suspended by the commission.
Chandler.
You've got Holloway, talks of going down, fighting Topuria. You've got
That's
Poirier.
pretty much done, though.
Pretty much done. You've got Poirier coming off the loss to Makhachev. The only fight that's available for Makhachev is Oliveira, which was a rematch that was going to happen in the first place. Of course, Oliveira doesn't deserve it right now. Sarukian does. But you look at the situation in the lightweight division.
MMA just
it's the only option they've got. Who else is
no.
But
The thing is,
you're gonna put McGregor against
the thing
Makhachev.
is, the reason why I'm still skeptical regarding that fight being made is
the
that
Oliveira Makhachev.
Oliveira Makhachev 2 is because when it comes down to the Sarukian ban, there's a caveat. So it's 9 months, but it gets brought down to 6 months if he does like an anti-bullying sort of promotional video. And those timings would fall straight into MSG timings in November, which is where Islam wants to fight.
But that card for me, unless they want to stack the card,
they will put John Jones and Miocic and Islam on there.
Yeah, but Jones is saying, if they can do that, it's perfect.
They will do that.
Jones is saying he's already been put in for that fight.
Why wouldn't they do that?
But they always stack up their MSG cards anyway. So
you put 2 title fights there.
I wouldn't mind that, actually.
That would be crazy. So that's why I'm still skeptical regarding that matchup possibly being made. And like, Charles is my guy. If like that's my guy, but it's just one of them where it's like it's hard for me. And I tweeted it. I was like, name the times where someone's coming off a loss and goes straight into a title fight when it's not an immediate rematch. Someone mentioned Izzy, which I understand, but Izzy would have got the immediate rematch. Izzy would have got the immediate rematch with Strickland if he didn't want to take time off.
He fought so many times. When he was a
so
champion.
he would have
worn out, and
he was middleweight. Yeah, he would have got the Strickland immediate rematch if he didn't want to take that year off. But just to lose a close fight with Sarukian and then to go into a title shot, I mean, Oliveira would have to count his chickens because I mean, that would like everything would have to fall into place. But at the same time, that's a fight that makes a lot of money for the UFC. It makes more money than more money than the Sarukian fight.
Or another option is to do the Topuria Makhachev fight, go up in weight, do the champ fight. But of course, they're already talking about Holloway going down in weight.
You would give Topuria a chance at double belt already.
No, I'm just saying. You look at the opportunity. You look at the options the UFC have right now.
Yeah,
all those guys that are out injured or suspended or coming off knockout losses. Oliveira is the only option. Another option you could say is Mike Chandler if he can't get the McGregor fight.
Well, he said he got offered.
He said he's available. And listen,
he said the UFC offered him.
And what happened? Did he reject it?
He said no. Did you not see the tweet? So he said.
I never saw the tweet.
So he tweeted out. He said the UFC offered him Makhachev in October, or he'll wait. Or if Conor's ready, then let's do Conor. There's no way the UFC offered the title shot to Michael Chandler.
No, but listen.
You look at the
styles. You look at styles. Chandler comes from a D1 background. He's not a scrub wrestler. Makhachev will beat him.
Makhachev smokes him within 3 rounds.
Yeah, he beats him, but it's a fun fight, and I'd say it's a good fight for Makhachev just to get out of the way. Another defense.
I think Chandler would walk into something from Makhachev because Makhachev's striking is proper. He outstruck Dustin Poirier. Do you know how mad that is?
He's a slick southpaw. He's got that left high kick as well that he knocked out Volkanovski with.
Bro, he would deal with him. He would deal with him,
but I'd say it's a fresh face for him, a fresh opponent.
It doesn't do anything. It doesn't do anything for his legacy.
No, but it's a defense. It's a title defense. And listen,
I mean,
it's another defense added to his record. And he's not going to say no. Oliveira, he's already beaten Oliveira. The other option, like I said, is Topuria goes up in weight, but they're doing Holloway versus Topuria allegedly.
Yeah, but
pretty much done.
They rebooked the Oliveira fight, so there was hype for that. Obviously, Oliveira got the cut,
but the hype isn't the same. Oliveira's coming off back-to-back losses.
No,
is it not back-to-back losses?
No, because he beat Darius.
Yeah, he beat Darius. He's coming off a loss to.
But I mean, it was a unanimous decision.
No, I'd say this is just a filler. This is just a filler until Sarukian gets back. Sarukian deserves a shot. There's no doubts about it. But this is just in the meantime. You've got no other options. Do you know what
I think. I know, like people would complain to an extent. Yeah. They would complain to an extent because if the UFC announced, right, Sarukian's got the ban, Islam wants to turn around quickly. It was booked before Volkanovski stepped in. we're making Makhachev Oliveira 2. Maybe some people would complain all of that, but when it gets closer to
I
fight,
wouldn't complain
when
because-
it gets closer to fight week, I have UFC 280. That was not the real Oliveira. Yeah,
Yeah, but you can
I'm
say
not
that.
saying Islam
Yeah.
doesn't beat him again. I'm definitely
wasn't
not
him at his
saying that.
best. But
if
what was the reason,
if
though?
Dustin Poirier can go 25 minutes with Islam Makhachev,
But Dustin's got better takedown defense than Oliveira. That's
it's
the
because
thing.
Oliveira wants to go to the ground.
Yeah, but you can't want to go to the ground against these.
Yeah, and I
these
think
Sambo guys. You can't do that.
I think his tactics.
They'll just crush you and squeeze you.
Yeah.
Bro.
No, but his tactics would have to be completely
He
different.
has to fight differently.
Completely.
He needs to work on his takedown defense or use submissions to get up.
Did you see?
Do you remember what
when
he done against Kevin Lee?
Yeah.
Where he would fake the leg lock. Kevin Lee would take him down.
Yeah.
But he'd get him in a leg lock position just to reverse it. Get on top or just to get up.
For example, when he fought Dariush, Dariush is a strong wrestler.
Yeah.
People don't rate him and stuff, but he's a solid wrestler, yeah? When he was on top raining punches and stuff, once Oliveira decided, you know what, enough of that, I'm getting up, he got up and he head kicked him and he knocked him out. I'm not saying he would be able to do that to Islam Makhachev, but I'm telling you, if he wanted to stay on his feet, I don't think Islam gets those takedowns in the open. It's because he welcomes it, because he feels like he can go get the sub.
To be honest though, Makhachev isn't the same wrestler
As
in the
Khabib.
center of the cage than when it is towards the fence. Khabib can get a takedown anywhere. You watch that Poirier fight.
He was getting...
Makhachev didn't get a single takedown in the center of the cage. When he took him down towards the end was against the fence. So if you can keep the fight in the center of the cage, which isn't easy because Makhachev is a good striker as well.
But Oliveira,
then he has a chance. But
Oliveira would have to completely change his mindset.
He needs to change, but listen, it's that ego thing, innit? He's got the most submissions in the UFC.
But he got tapped out.
I know, but it's an ego thing, and I think Makhachev likes beating guys in their
striking, mixing up striking for striking. If it's just they're standing up,
pure striking.
Oliveira's got a real chance.
Of course, and he has more power as well. He's got knockout power. I don't think Makhachev with the hands. I don't think Makhachev has knockout power.
No, he does. He does. He just has the hands. He hasn't just got the clean.
For me, the head kick is there. But when it comes to Oliveira, you ask Gaethje. Gaethje said this is the hardest hitter he's ever fought, and Gaethje is a guy who's been hit by everyone, and he's got a heavy right hand. Oliveira. People sleep on his power.
No, Charles is definitely a
Charles
massive...
can crack. But for me, that fight, I'd say it's a more competitive fight compared to the Chandler fight. You look at all the options Makhachev has, suspensions, injuries, knockout losses that the guys have.
And Oliveira beat him.
Oliveira beat Makhachev.
Chandler.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
He's got a win over
Oliveira
him as
beat
well.
Chandler, yeah, you're right.
Knocked him out. So it's one of them for the belt. The start of the Olive's reign.
But listen, Makhachev might come out and say, I don't want to have a warm-up fight. I'll wait for Sarukian. He did take a lot of damage in terms of cuts and bruises. He had a massive cut against Poirier. He's probably healing. Listen, he had a war against Poirier not too long ago.
I'll be honest. If Sarukian and Oliveira fight 10 times, it's not a 9 out of 10 for... It's not a 10 out of 10 for Sarukian.
No,
I'm trying to say.
I'd say they're more tightly matched. And I'd say... If you can do I don't know.
And even Oliveira's tactics were kind of wrong in that fight.
But
he just stayed on the ground too much.
Yeah, but the thing is with Oliveira, I don't want to say. I don't want to say it, but maybe he's not an intelligent guy. I don't know, but you need to really think smart when it comes to these guys. Even Sarukian, he's not from Russia, but he's from that Caucasus region. These guys can wrestle. Why are you so happy to be on your back and think you can get submission? These guys do this every day on the mats.
But the thing is, he was nearly proved right because he got Arman in the Sarukian.
Yeah, but that was right at the end when they're all sweaty.
It was in like the second round.
Yeah, second round, but still, the fight's been going on for a while. They're all sweaty. It's different when you're going for a submission when you're dry.
I don't know, man. I
know Oliveira's a guy, but
the thing is, Charles, it would be all or nothing because if you lost to Makhachev again, he ain't getting a title shot for the rest of his career. Do you know what I'm trying to say? Like, that's guaranteed.
So that's what I mean. Do you want to rush it then? Do you want to rush it? I'd say let Chandler go. We know he's going to lose. Yeah.
Nah, bro.
I don't know. Build up again. Oliveira for me needs a win.
Then what if the chance never comes back?
For me, Oliveira needs a win. Now, he could fight Benoit. For me, Benoit Saint Denis there.
Gamrot's the one calling him out.
Or Benoit Saint Denis, which is another good fight.
They're matching BSD with Moicano.
Okay.
So, no, like, if it's not the Makhachev fight, then... Oliveira's still number 2 and Gamrot's 5. Makes sense.
How many defenses does Oliveira have?
Do we count the gate? We'll count the Gaethje one as a defense. So he won the belt against Chandler, defense against Poirier, defense
Gaethje.
against Gaethje, and lost it against Islam.
So what? That's two defenses.
Yeah.
So listen, you could say he's the third best lightweight of all time.
Yeah, 100%.
100%. So just off the basis of that,
Most submissions in the UFC ever.
in the UFC history. So
super entertaining fighter.
I'd say for Makhachev to beat him again would do his wonders for his legacy. So
if
I'd
only
say
he would have beaten Sarukian, man.
Yeah, that's what I mean. That loss to Sarukian was worse than the loss to Makhachev.
But because it was unanimous decision.
People were looking at him after the Makhachev loss. Oh, he's done. For me, he wasn't done. For me, this Sarukian loss,
his tactics were all
has
wrong
messed
that
him
night,
up,
though.
and it's almost like he's making the same mistakes. They're very similar, Makhachev and Sarukian, in terms of what they're trying to do to you.
Talking of Charles, if let's say he doesn't get the Islam fight, what route do you think he should go down?
If
should
Charles
he have
doesn't
big
get
fights?
no, for me, he needs to build back up. If he can't get that Makhachev fight, he needs to build up to become a contender. You know, put some work in.
He's always one fight away.
Yeah, no,
it's like how Dustin, he fought BSD and he was one fight away.
He needs to show the fans and the media that he deserves a title shot.
But that's what he did against Dariush.
Yeah, but
he finished him in the first round.
He can't go into a title shot with the Sarukian loss, even if Sarukian comes back and let's say he fights Makhachev and Makhachev wins, Oliveira for me needs to a win or two.
But
I mentioned Benoit. You said Benoit's already been matched up. Then there's Gamrot that's available.
Gamrot's the one calling him out all the time.
Fight Gamrot, you know.
Top 5 win.
Yeah, fight Gamrot. That's a good win. You know, Gamrot's always been in and amongst the top 5 or just outside.
Oliveira would knock out Gamrot.
I mean, listen.
I'm sorry. I'll say it right here.
For me, I don't know what it is with Oliveira, but I'd say he's a momentum fighter. That's what I think. I think when he's got a few wins in a row, he's confident.
Yeah, but you say that.
This loss to Sarukian might dent his confidence.
Yeah, but you say that, but he lost his belt, got submitted by Islam, came back, knocked out Dariush, who was on a serious streak. So he's got mental fortitude. Every time when he fights and stuff, he fights to the end and stuff. I don't think it's a mentality thing. I think it was very fine margins.
I just think...
And he needs to keep fights on the feet.
He can't go into a fight with Makhachev coming off that loss to Sarukian. He needs a win, then fight Makhachev.
Well, maybe the UFC think differently, but...
Yeah, but no, just for him, in terms of his confidence, in terms of his... But you're right, though. Another guy that you just mentioned. Volk versus Oliveira is a good fight. Now, I've been calling for Volk to go up in weight. I think that knockout loss for me, cutting all that weight, for me, listen, let's be real. He looked very good in that first fight against Makhachev. Yeah. He doesn't look out of place at lightweight. He's very short, but still he's a stocky guy. That was the performance of his life. That was the performance of his life. He just came up against
Makhachev didn't have the best of his
doesn't have the best performances, but still, on another day, he could have got the nod. It was a close fight. Yeah. He didn't look out of place. The power was there. He rocked Makhachev multiple times. He showed excellent takedown defense against the best wrestler in the UFC right now in Makhachev.
You think? Wait, hold on. You think Islam's the best wrestler
in terms of MMA wrestling? In terms of, I mean, who would say is better than him wrestling wise in MMA right now in the UFC right now?
Damn, throwing me on the spot. I'm gonna get back to you, but
yeah, but in terms of using it in MMA, of course, there's guys with pedigree, but when it comes to using it in MMA, it's Makhachev.
Smothering. Yeah.
I mean, when he gets you down, it's so hard to get back up. And Volkanovski showed good takedown defense. There's a lot of fights for him. A lot of guys would want to fight him because of what he's done at featherweight. It's a legacy fight for them. Imagine McGregor versus Volkanovski at 155 pounds. Imagine that. Imagine if they could pull that off. That's a good fight. So I'd say Volkanovski going up in weight is a good move. And for Oliveira, it's a good move. And it's a very tough fight for Oliveira as well.
Do you feel like Volk ain't got the same juice anymore after those back-to-back knockouts, though?
No, you're right in terms of... For me, the knockout loss to Makhachev was... there were circumstances going into that fight. That wasn't working in his favour. It was a short notice fight. But the Topuria one was a heavy knockout loss. Now, if he leaves the weight class, it's not a good look. Topuria kind of, you could say, booted him out of the division, which is not a good look. But going up to lightweight...
But he said he wants to have a fun... But this is what I'm saying. He said,
don't cut weight.
Yeah, but he said, I want to have a fun fight while I wait for my 145 title shot. You fight Oliveira, you could be on the end of a... Yeah, but you could be on the end of a third knockout.
Yeah, but listen...
I rate it, Volk's that man. Volk's the guy. Volk's the guy.
Volk could beat Oliveira. I know Oliveira's your guy, but who says Volk can't beat Oliveira? I know Volk's chin's a bit... But listen, Oliveira gets knocked down a lot, but I know he kind of plays possum a bit. He wants you to come down. I know Volk is probably not going to mess with him on the ground. Wait, but Volk's not a scrub, though. Volk's not some scrub.
No, of course
Volk can hang in there on the ground.
But you're talking about, does he look the same? Is there a world where Volk goes down the Tony Ferguson route?
I hope not. But listen,
obviously, not 8 fights.
How old's Volk now?
35?
So he's at that age where there's that stat when you go above 35, it goes downhill a bit. But when it comes to Volk, for me, the move.
I can't lie. Now that I've seen that matchup, yeah, Volk v Topuria is not good news for Volk.
What again?
Yeah.
No way. I said Volk has to sit out until 2025.
No, but I'm saying even if his brain is fully refreshed, like it's not.
I mean, he was doing well until he got knocked out, which is, I know it's mad to say.
Yeah, but it's just, bro. It's
maybe Ilia can just crack. Maybe he has that freakish power.
He does though.
There's guys like Rumble. There's guys that like
Josh
Emmett. There's just guys that are just born with freakish power. Maybe Topuria's always had this and we never noticed it.
No, but it was the way. I
didn't see that coming. I'll be real.
Me neither. But it was the way.
Disappointed.
It's the way Volk was pressed against the fence.
Yeah.
And like when you think of prime Volk, yeah, when he was on that run,
technically
at 145,
that third fight against Holloway was one of the best performances.
The fight against Rodriguez,
he battered Holloway.
And
if Holloway can come, listen, I know Holloway didn't get knocked out, but he looked very bad in that third fight.
Yeah, he
got rocked multiple times. He looked in a bad way. And
MMA is a funny game.
I was thinking, is Holloway done? Do you remember Oliveira when he was at featherweight, losing all those fights?
But that shows.
I was thinking, is he done? There's guys you think they're done, they just have a second win. Volk might be that guy, but the only way he can have that is if he sits out, recovers. Don't go.
I think.
He's
but
calling
it's just
people out.
Topuria.
It's not good.
So what I was gonna say is, on that run that Volkanovski as a champ, it was his movement. It was his like octagon, like the way he directed the fight. It was on his terms. He would move left, right. He would always pop the jab, move. It was the movement was so crisp.
It was a puzzle that no one could
fix. Against Yair Rodriguez, just dismantled him.
Battered him.
But against Topuria, he let it almost. It was almost like Topuria let him have the first round, land your shots and stuff. But the moment he stalked his prey. Then once Volk's back was against the cage, bombs started flying. And when you like, there's a surface area right there. You can't really
to move.
And just got flattened.
But what it is maybe he didn't respect Topuria's power. Maybe it was that. Or maybe it's a case where you're coming off a knockout loss to Makhachev, take a little fight where... But the thing is, it was a defense. You can't even do a warm-up fight. You've got to give it to the guy that deserves it. So it's a sticky position. But
it's not everyday warm-up fight. Like, this not the UFC.
No, to be honest though, when you go down in weight and you're the champion, you've got to defend it against the best guy. So you can't even do that. It'll be clear ducking. But the thing is, for me, when it comes to... When you suffer a loss... There's nothing wrong with kind of taking an easier fight just to build your momentum.
I'm saying it with McGregor.
I'm saying it with McGregor because he's coming off a loss, He's broken his leg.
He's got
toe
not
injury.
As champ.
Not as a
general.
champ. Just in general. Oliveira's coming off. Of course, he didn't get battered. It wasn't a knockout loss. He just got outpointed.
I hear that, but then...
Take a fight, build your confidence. It's very important for me going into a fight. You've got to have a win.
Yeah,
otherwise,
but first of all,
you lose 2 in a row, you're done.
Yeah, but first of all, this is the UFC, so that's not how it works. And the second of all... and second of all, it's intrigue levels. You're telling me Volk fights a tune-up fight and stuff. It's like, Volk fights Oliveira or Dustin Poirier. People are, oh my gosh, this is madness.
For me, Volk just has a lot more options at lightweight. There's a lot of fun fights in my lightweight.
Yeah.
Topuria has always spoken about going up in weight. He looks like a big featherweight as it is. You can do Volk versus...
Topuria's 5'7" though,
Yeah, but he looks a bit stocky. Volk is shorter. I mean, wasn't Edgar a lightweight at one point? I know lightweights are a lot bigger now, but still... Topuria is a 5'7", 5'8". He can mix in there. I'd say he's not that much shorter than McGregor.
I think you're gonna
Green.
have to accept the fact that we're gonna get Topuria Holloway because I know you've been banging on. You've been banging on about you don't want that matchup.
No, because you've got Movsar, you've got Aljamain Sterling, you've got Diego Lopez. There's guys there, bro.
The man. Shout out Diego, bro.
Yeah, Diego
since the last time, I mean, we didn't even talk about that, but
that
is movie worthy. Dan Ige, shout out Dan Ige.
And shout out Lopez as well, because everyone's giving Ige the credit. He deserves the credit.
Yeah.
But to fight a guy...
4 hours notice.
Who's completely different to the guy he's
heavy
been training
puncher.
for. He's completely different. He could have caught him off guard. Brian Ortega comes in with that grappling threat, so he was expecting a striking matchup. I don't know what he trained for.
Ige's one bomb away from knocking you out.
Of course, in terms of levels, Ige's nowhere near the level of
Lopez.
Lopez.
Ige's 13. He's 13 in the featherweight.
Yeah, but that doesn't matter when it comes to short.
That's a ranked win.
No, but when it comes to short notice fights, forget about ability. They can catch you off guard. You look at McGregor versus Diaz. First time, everyone thought McGregor was gonna dog walk him, but When you get a late replacement, it's hard to
4
prepare.
hours. And then Ige was
Fair play.
165 pounds. Lopez was 160.
Dana White came out and said because of
They're gonna grant him.
they're going to put them in the sphere.
Well,
Which is another interesting
Ortega's come
card.
out. First of all, this is something I wanted to talk about.
Yeah.
Ortega's demeanor throughout UFC 303 was weird, man. Throughout the interviews and stuff,
Yeah,
you could see
Yeah.
something. Well, people could argue it was the weight, but it just felt like something was off with him. His interviews and stuff, he was just
But there was talk going into that fight. Ariel Helwani mentioned apparently he was preparing for a lightweight fight, which makes no sense whatsoever. There's no reason for him to go up to lightweight. Yeah. He still has a lot of work to do. Has he lost to anyone twice yet at featherweight? I don't think
he's only lost to Holloway and.
But he's not lost to anybody twice, and the current champion is neither of those guys. Yeah. So I don't know why he's gone up to lightweight. It's a weird one.
They're gonna give Lopez. They're gonna do Lopez Ortega at the Sphere because Ortega's come out and said.
Yeah, but what weight? Ortega needs
to. At 145.
Ortega needs to prove he can make.
No. But it was 3 weeks.
But he's been a featherweight his whole career. If what Ariel's saying is true, and he's been bulking up to move to 155.
He hasn't been bulking up.
No, but that's what Ariel said, and Ariel has inside information.
No, but this is a real thing though. If your
mind's
set on doing 155, and then you get a call to fight an upcoming murderer.
Yeah,
but Lopez is a murderer, and everyone's saying Lopez's stock went down. Don't piss me off.
Because Ige.
Yeah, because obviously in the third round he looked tired and stuff, and Ige was looking half decent.
I mean it was at 165.
It was at 165.
He's not basically
give him a
for this
pass,
guy.
bro. And even it was not a bad performance. He was like, right, he was up 2 rounds, and Ige is a warrior.
But it's a late replacement.
Yeah,
at a weight class you're not familiar with. You've been preparing to cut to 145 pounds. As the week goes on,
and he cut to 145.
And then he's cut. And listen, Ige was probably a lot bigger than him.
And then
Ige didn't cut anyway.
And then his rehydration process was to 155, so he didn't even get to his full.
Ige was probably a lot bigger than him as well on fight night. Yeah. Didn't cut any weight. Was pretty much
normal,
jumping off the couch.
It's normal that Lopez got tired.
The circumstances were different, and Lopez is probably a bit anxious. I'm fighting this guy. It's different. When he prepares against Ortega, I think he's going to prepare with a bit of a vengeance. He's going to be a bit pissed off.
He's going to be.
We may see him stop Ortega. I know I said the first time Lopez decision.
I think Lopez.
He might even stop him.
I think because
he's
Ortega in his so Ortega he put out a statement and he said I'm going to make it up to Lopez. So my guess is Sphere they rebook that fight. Yeah, Ortega will have in his mind that he's going to fight at 145 pounds.
What date's the Sphere? September. So they're probably going to stack that card. It's a one and done in it. I'd say McGregor tops the bill that card.
Maybe, because
they're saying August.
Also,
is it early September?
Yeah. It's like 9th or something like that.
I'd say McGregor tops that bill.
And also put Dan Ige on the card as well. 100%. Shout out him because he deserves it. Another thing that happened that we haven't spoken about: DDP v Izzy.
Now listen, I've got a few things to say about this.
Let's go.
DDP.
He's hungry.
First of all, he looked massive. Yeah, he looked massive. No, but he looked tall. Did you see his shoes? But yeah, apparently he's wearing heels. So I can't give him the credit.
He had the platforms.
But there is genuine animosity, hatred. DDP for me has surprised me many, many times. I've picked against him so many times.
Man,
but he's that guy, that unorthodox style. Obviously, he sorted out the nose issues, the breathing problems
are not there. 30% better once you become champion,
For me, DDP,
he might win.
He may win, and I won't be surprised, but I've got to go Izzy.
Really?
I've got to go Izzy. Yeah. Izzy, for me, I don't see him losing 2 fights in a row. I just don't see it. He's going to come in annoyed. And the last time he came into a fight annoyed, coming off a loss, we all know what happened. Yeah. And we'll speak on Pereira. Charma, we'll speak on him.
Charma.
But going into that second fight with Pereira, where everybody expected Izzy to lose, including me, he knocked out Pereira cold and essentially booted him out of the division. Let's be real. People don't want to admit it. I know there's a lot of Pereira fans who are not going to be happy with me. But your boy Izzy is the reason why Pereira went up in weight.
Yeah, but him making 185 credit. It was a death note.
He never missed weight though. He never missed weight.
Which is mad.
McGregor going to 145 pounds was a death note as well, but he never missed weight. So he could do it. But Izzy's the reason why he went up. And Izzy's the reason why Pereira's so high up in pound for pound list as well. Because Izzy's the reason why he went up. So listen.
Number 2.
Give Izzy his flowers. But what's your thoughts on the fight? Who do you think's going to win that?
Well, I'll start off with the press conference. I thought I was impressed with DDP's sort of like the way he came off as he's champ, yeah? And Izzy's going to have to come and get what's his. It's not a situation where Izzy's like, he's being champ and he's arguably one of the best middleweights ever. couple one-liners. Do you know what I'm trying to say? He was like, Izzy, what did he say? Izzy was like, yeah, I took up golf throughout this last year. And then he was like, well, that's a retirement sport and I'm going to send you over those sides. Yeah? So stuff like that. Mentioned him with his prior history with dogs.
Yeah.
So I was impressed with DDP. And like I said, when you become champion, I think in his heart of hearts, DDP really thinks he can finish Izzy.
He said that. He said, I'm going into this fight. I'm going to stop Izzy. So
he's gonna.
We'll see. We'll see.
DDP is a bulldozer. That's how he works, innit?
And he can do everything.
He's a bulldozer. The fight with Strickland, I mean, it was a very close fight, but like he's a bulldozer. He'll just go in there. He'll throw his punches. Like I said, if it's a clean kickboxing match, of course you favor Izzy, of course. But if it's like here and there, and you just boom, and you get him in the clinch, you got Izzy in the clinch, start landing bangs, maybe mix a bit of wrestling. I know Izzy's definitely working on his wrestling, but if he makes it an MMA fight, if it's an MMA fight for 25 minutes, I favor DDP 100%. If it's a clean pot shot, move out the way, pot shot, move out the way combination, of course Izzy I would favor him. That's kind of how I see the fight going.
With Izzy, for me, he's gonna come in, like I said, put in the best performance of his career. He's taken a lot of time out. This is the longest time he's been out since he's been a UFC fighter. He's going to come in fresh, hungry, going to put in the performance of his career. And listen, for me, what will happen is
it's a big fight for him.
He will beat Drakus and they'll do the rematch with Strickland and he will beat Strickland. And then that will catapult him above Pereira.
Legacy-wise.
In the pound for pound list. And for me, the fight that will happen, and I know I'm saying a lot of wild things here.
What, 2 or 5?
I reckon he beats Drakus. He beats Strickland in a rematch, and he goes up to 205 and beats Pereira. And he beats Pereira. 2 belts on his shoulders. I'm telling you.
Wait, hold on. Is Izzy your boy like that? Because
no, I'm just saying. No, because Izzy gets a lot of disrespect.
That was crazy.
It's not even Izzy's my boy, yeah.
If he does that,
he's pound for pound number 1.
Wait, hold on. If he beats DDP, then he beats Strickland, then he beats...
Can he not beat... Forget Pereira. Can he not beat Drakus?
Yeah.
Can he not beat Strickland in a rematch? Let's be real.
Yeah, no,
It'll
he
be a
can.
tough fight, but he can.
Going up in weight,
he has to, for me, attack the body.
No, but I'm saying...
For me, Strickland's final fights 2 upwards, hands
does he finish them?
No, he's not finishing Strickland, I'll be real. But Drakus, he could. Because Drakus can be wild. Why
don't you think he could finish Strickland?
He can't finish. Strickland, for me, is just too durable and too...
Only Alex Pereira's left
Pereira has that one disgusting left hook. That,
bro,
if that lands on anyone, they're pissed.
I can't believe you still said that pound for pound. What, you still got Josh Emmett over Pereira?
No, Josh Emmett, for me... No, he's a nasty puncher.
Shout out Josh Emmett,
no,
bro.
because he reminds me of Dan Henderson's another one.
Josh
it's pound for pound, the hardest hitter is another guy, Dan Henderson. But for me, like I said, those 2 guys are winnable fights, Drakus and Strickland. But going up in weight, the trilogy in MMA, him versus Pereira, that is the fight the UFC should be pushing.
That would be a top 5 gate.
That would be guaranteed million+ pay-per-view buys. I'm telling it now. Yeah.
It would be
one of the most anticipated trilogies in UFC history.
It wouldn't be now, but if Izzy got 2 solid wins, yeah.
I mean, listen, and the 2 wins make sense because if he beats Drakus and he beats Strickland, who is there left? I know Whitaker's on a bit of a run, but who is there for him to fight at middleweight? He's cleaned the division up.
Yeah.
So going up in weight is something that he's wanted to do. Was unsuccessful against Blachowicz, but a focused Izzy coming off 2 wins against 2 guys he hates. Man. Against Pereira, who he beat by a knockout loss. A lot of people forget. He had your boy out. So going up in weight, 205.
Bro, you're trying to get the Pereira fans.
No, man, Pereira fans annoy me because we're going to talk about it. I predicted
let's
Yuri
chat
to
about
win.
Alex, yeah? Because
I predicted Yuri to win. I predicted Yuri to win.
First of all, I'm going to get onto you a little bit, because your prediction...
Yeah, Yuri let me down, man. You know what it is? He does this...
The prediction was smelly.
You know Yuri, yeah?
Oh, my God.
Yuri does this thing where he locks himself up in a shed with no food and water. He deserved it.
On some Shogun vibe.
He's doing this...
Samurai.
No, it's attention... For me, it's attention seeking. It's not no samurai nonsense.
Oh,
Samurais don't starve themselves and go into a fight vulnerable.
Wait. So hold on.
So for me, Yuri's not my guy anymore.
No, I quote. Wait, hold on. You said Yuri's gonna...
I said Yuri was...
You said Yuri was gonna wrestle him and then he's gonna win by decision. Yeah, and I said, what did I say? I said, if this fight goes 25 minutes, you're getting... Bro, you would have got like platter. There's no way. You would have got the much. But hear what though? Nah, honestly, Pereira. I mean, Yuri. Ah, damn, Yuri, man, Yuri. Well, there's talk.
Yeah.
First of
but
all, let's just talk about Yuri quickly. Obviously, there's talks about him possibly making middleweight. I don't see him as a small 205er. He might
no,
die on the
no,
scale.
but apparently though, he walks into fights less than 220 pounds.
Yeah,
So he could make 185.
him at 185.
He
would
could
be,
make 185 because there's guys at 185. Drakus walks into the cage 215, 216, 100%. He's a big guy. I'd say Izzy's probably the smallest middleweight, but when it comes to middleweights,
6'4". It's just
there's
his frame.
middleweights that walk into the cage similar weight to Yuri Prohaska. Yuri's just very tall. That's what throws people off. But Yuri, for me,
But I'm
going into that fight,
It's a
I don't
dangerous.
even know.
It's
It's
a
like he
dangerous
didn't
move.
even train. Like
No, but it's a
he hit him with
dangerous-
the same left hook. He didn't show
Sent him
any.
flying.
He sent him flying. He didn't show any like game plan. Did he even shoot? Did he shoot?
I think they were clinched up for like.
But he
maybe
didn't
like
shoot
30
once.
seconds.
So it's like.
But do you think Yuri's Khabib, bro?
No, but he has to attempt a shot.
Brother.
Keep him guessing. Make Pereira drop his hands.
He thought he would be able to do what he did to Rakic to Pereira. innit?
Yeah, just I don't know, just hang in there a bit.
do
But
something.
for me,
the head kick was nuts.
Yeah, but that head kick was just a head kick. That was just finishing.
That
the
was a
glove off.
UFC fight.
That wasn't a head kick where
It was foot.
that was no, but that
was
was
foot to
no, but
chin.
that was just he's already hurt. Finish him off. He's expecting a left hook and just hit him with a head kick.
I know, and
But give
also,
Pereira his credit. I'm not a Pereira hater. Give him his credit. He done his thing. But
Pereira's-
Yuri for me stunk up the cage. Like it wasn't a
stunk
case.
up the gaff.
Yeah, it
You
wasn't a
see,
case
he
where
shaved,
it was. Yeah,
you shaved the little something.
he should go back into his shed, man. You know what I mean, and really think about what he done. Everyone's talking about. Everyone's talking about he had a staph infection as well.
Yeah. We need to talk about it. What's going on?
It's a bit of a
Wait,
phenomenon.
hold on. What's
Every
going on?
fighter's coming
Are
out
we
saying they got
not
a
cleaning
staph
the
infection.
mats? What's
I don't
going
know.
on in the
Probably
gyms?
I
Clean the
don't know.
mats. Every single fighter, like not every single fighter, but it's becoming
every week.
more and more of a thing where at the end of fights, or even when they do pictures beforehand,
Yeah.
people are zooming in.
To be fair to Yuri though, he did release a picture and it did look like staph
BSD
infection.
against Dustin Poirier had a
Poirier.
nasty staph infection.
Makhachev did Makhachev have it recently as well?
Yeah.
So
Clean the mats.
I mean, it is a common
Be
thing
careful.
in MMA. It is a common thing.
Because it affects.
But for me, forget that. You lost because you had a crap game plan, and
I know, I just-
essentially his chin can't handle Pereira's left.
No,
hook.
he can't.
And there's nothing wrong with that because Pereira can crack. So listen, he lost
Pereira-
twice. He lost twice now. and
Pereira's
it's
just,
not, it's
Pereira's
not even
just a better fighter.
yeah.
That's
and
what
it's
it is.
not. Yeah, he's
Pereira's
better
just a better fighter.
And it's not even a case where you're saying he's too big for middleweight. He has to go down to middleweight. You lost twice to the champion.
Does
You're-
he?
He lost twice to Pereira. So
Yeah.
so it's a case where he's not gonna fight for the belt again unless Pereira loses the belt, or he does what Holloway done and goes on a mad win streak, which is gonna take a few years, maybe 1 or 2 years. So it's a case where he has to go down in weight.
He needs to reevaluate.
If
innit?
he wants to kind of fight for the belt again, he has to go down in weight.
Yeah.
But Pereira for
But
me,
Pereira won't be there forever. He's 37.
I mean, there's talk of
So,
Pereira. There's talk of
boxing.
Pereira going to boxing,
So
which isn't
him
a
and
smart move in my opinion.
him and AJ had a little interaction on Twitter, friendly one. But he
Keep
said,
it friendly as well. Don't be getting in there with AJ, bro.
"Do you know what matchup I'd like to see though?
Who?
Ngannou Pereira boxing." Oh my gosh!
Yeah, I mean,
Chat to
yeah,
me.
that'd be a good one. I mean,
Chat
Pereira
to
essentially
me.
is a-
Ngannou Pereira.
Pereira essentially is a heavyweight. If you think about, he walks into the cage at 232 pounds.
Yeah.
Usyk walked into the boxing ring against Fury 220. Wilder's 212.
Yeah.
So there's heavyweights that are a lot smaller than him. He's a tall guy, 6'4", 6'5".
Yeah.
He will fit in perfectly. But him versus Ngannou is a good fight. I'd say that is a smart move for him. Or even him versus, I don't know, Dylan White, or not someone that has
But before all that,
not no slick boxer.
before any of that,
He has to
give
fight
my boy.
Ankalaev, man. Give Ankalaev his fight, man.
But do you see, he wants to fight at Perth.
Who
Pereira.
I saw that, but is Ankalaev going to be ready for Perth?
Ankalaev, bro.
all the,
every
and the
day,
UFC won't. No, but the UFC won't let him. No,
Listen,
the UFC won't
it's
let him.
every day. It's every
No, but the
day. Is
UFC won't let
Ankalaev
him.
gonna be ready?
Yeah, that's just for the.
Do you want to
cameras, though.
become champion, bro?
No, but listen, I think
Every
Pereira-
single time
I
it's-
think Pereira's just doing that for the cameras. I think
What, if he
they
got
won't let
into
him,
the
they won't
ca-
let him.
they
They're not
won't
gonna
let
sta-
him.
they're not gonna stack that
Okay,
Perth card.
no,
They're
of
not gonna
course
stack that
they
Perth
won't
card.
let him.
Do MSG,
but-
stack up MSG
But
or Sphere. But don't do. They're not gonna.
But
they're not gonna use
you're
up
saying
all
it's
their
all for
talents.
the cameras. If Pereira was down to fight Ankalaev at 305, and That would be
down.
one of the most gangster moves
but he's
ever
down.
of all time.
He's
bro.
down, but the UFC won't let him.
Yeah, they won't
because
let
the UFC are not going to use all their assets. Stack a card like Perth.
Yeah.
What's Perth? Perth's not there. Their main cards are the pay-per-views in Vegas, in Abu Dhabi, and the Sphere that's coming
New
up, and New York.
Yeah.
They're not going to stack up a foreign pay-per-view. They're not going
Yeah.
to do that. Unless it's a homegrown fighter or it's a special occasion, they're not going to do that.
Yeah.
For me, though, that Perth card's already looking decent. The co-main is Usyk versus
It's good scrap.
Kai
It's
France.
solid scrap.
Usyk's obviously coming off that loss to Pantoja.
I'm looking at the rankings
Which is a
right
decent,
now.
it's a decent fight.
Why we'll do a last little segment, yeah, and I was thinking of this. So what we'll do, yeah, is we'll go through every single division, and I'm gonna ask you, is the champ still gonna be the champ by the end of the year? And will he have another fight by the end of the year? Okay, so we'll start off with flyweight, and we'll start off with Pantoja. So he fought at 301 in Brazil against Usyk. Would he still be champion come end of the year?
I reckon he's champion by the end
will
of the
be
year. There's
champion.
not much competition for him.
Do you think he gets another
at
fight
that
in
weight.
though?
I'd say he fights the winner of Usyk, Kai. If Kai wins, he'll probably
Albazi's
fight
there.
Kai.
He hasn't had a title shot.
Yeah, Albazi's looking good as well. He's a talented fighter. He's another. And he's based in the UK as well.
He just recently fought. Tatsuro
Yeah,
Taira.
but I just don't see.
Makhaev's fighting at 304.
Makhaev's a good one, but apparently though Makhaev Cape, apparently
they had a scrap outside. Yeah,
apparently. I mean, there's no pictures been released, but
headbutted him.
Cape's a hothead. Another guy.
He was trying to. He said he'll smoke.
There's
Izzy.
something wrong with him. Yeah,
He said he
he's
was
a bit of a
Izzy.
wild guy. So
He's a mad guy.
I actually believe the rumors. I think he did do some stupid things, and that fight is in jeopardy. Apparently, hopefully they can fight.
Nah, they'll fight. They'll fight.
But I say Pantoja hangs on.
Pantoja for me as well will still be champion come end of the year. He'll probably have another fight. He will fight twice. But there's not a clear contender yet.
O'Malley.
Bantamweight division. Oh my gosh, Sean O'Malley is champion.
I think O'Malley hangs on. He keeps it. Marab's there, but I say he will.
Merab.
Like I said, I think he beats Marab. I've got my reasons. Of course, Marab can win, but Marab for me gets rocked too much, and this fight he'll pay.
So Sean O'Malley for me will still be champion come end of the year, and he'll get that defense against Marab. I'm looking at the rankings right now. You got Corey Sanhagen who's second, and Umar's 10th. So I want to see. No, do you know what?
There's not so many fights you can do. Until the end of the year.
Yeah,
if
no.
you fight Marab,
but
then that's the only fight you can
quarter
do.
of 2025, if Sanhagen beats Umar, I want to see Sean O'Malley Sanhagen. That is a crazy striking matchup. Are you mad?
No, that's an amazing matchup.
That's
but
an
there's no
amazing
guarantee
fight.
Sanhagen wins.
Yeah,
I think though.
And to be fair, I feel like
It's a chess match, and that is a fight that has
Sean
to
O'Malley
happen.
against Umar would be crazy as well. But then
good
there's the
fight.
Topuria fight right there as well. So,
Going up in weight,
Sean,
yeah.
Sean O'Malley will still be champion come end of the year. This is where it gets real interesting. 145.
Now listen, if Holloway comes down, I think Holloway beats Topuria. But if Holloway stays at 155,
So
but listen, we have to just assume he's fighting Holloway. So I think he loses his belt. I think Holloway
Topuria
takes it.
loses his belt.
Holloway takes it.
Yeah. Topuria, love him or hate him, this guy, he's an animal, bro. He's scary settings. When he gets in the cage, it's scary.
Have you seen him go 5 rounds?
Yeah, with Josh Emmett, he couldn't finish him. But he nearly
It was a
nearly
dominant
murdered
win.
him.
Yeah,
He nearly
did
murdered him.
dominate him, I remember.
So I will say Max will be champion come end of the year. Obviously, they're gonna fight. That will be the only matchup from now to the end of the year. Who do you think will be clear contender first quarter 2025 then? In the featherweight division? Lopez.
Post Holloway
Lopez-
fight. So let's say
Lopez-
the Holloway fight's already happened.
Yeah.
His Holloway's defense, if we're assuming Holloway
Yeah.
wins.
Lopez.
Yeah, the winner of Lopez Ortega, and we both think Lopez will win. So
Okay, so we'll go
Lopez-
Evloev. Yeah, there's no hype.
Movsar, yeah.
There's no hype. Lightweight, we can go through this.
But it's funny because Movsar has a win over Lopez. So he'll be like, I deserve it. So they might do Lopez-Movsar rematch. Then the winner of that.
Yeah, but I mean,
But
Ortega,
yeah.
if
he
Lopez
can-
wants to fight at the Sphere, they'll give him Ortega because of the whole Mexican thing. Lightweight,
Makhachev, yeah, that's an easy one.
yeah, he's staying
Makhachev.
champion. He'll beat
Welterweight.
Sarukian.
Yeah, he beats Saru. He beats all of them.
beats-
Unless, yeah. And
Do you think we'll get a clear contender? No, we won't. We won't get a clear contender. I mean, I guess if Gamrot beat Charles, they would give him because that would be a fresh matchup. But I mean, if Oliveira fought Gamrot and won again, I guess Islam would have to, but Islam will probably want to go to 170. So, but yeah, I expect Islam Makhachev to still be champion come the end of 2024, and he will have another fight from now to the end of the year as well. My guess it will be Sarukian.
Welterweight, Leon Edwards.
Leon Edwards. So that's the next.
Bilal's his next fight, but the day he fights Shavkat, he loses it. So that's my opinion.
Yeah, but Leon Edwards is not active like that. I don't think that fight happens this year.
Yeah, you're right. It could, yeah. I mean,
it could.
And when's the Bilal fight confirmed for? It's Manny in internet. So when's Manny?
It's in 20 days.
20 days. So
I mean, he could. If realistically, he should. They could. They could. December time.
If he just runs through Bilal, takes no damage.
What's the likelihood of that?
They could slap him on the MSG card and stack that.
Yeah.
And if they do that, him, Shavkat, John Jones, Stipe. And what's the third fight that we mentioned?
John Jones, Stipe.
Stipe. Let's say they do Leon Edwards, Shavkat.
What's the other title
we just meant?
Islam Sarukian.
Yeah. Or even O'Malley Marab. Yeah.
No, that would be on the Sphere, I think.
That's fair. Yeah. So,
but
that MSG card
Shavkat, 100%. If Shavkat,
I just don't see Shavkat losing to any of these guys.
Yeah, Edwards, man. He has to fight twice a year. I can't lie. The one a year is not enough. So hopefully he beats Bilal, and then we want to see Shavkat Edwards come end of the year. And what you're saying, Shavkat is
the
new
day
champion.
he fights Shavkat.
That's your boy.
And no one's taking it off him as well. Shavkat's my guy, man.
No one's taking it off him.
Who's the middleweight champion?
Okay.
Yeah, middleweight's gone. Drakus is not holding on to that. Izzy's taking that off him.
Yeah.
Yeah, in my opinion.
And does Izzy fight again come end of the year?
Izzy, come on. You can never
Strickland, yeah.
You can never doubt Izzy's activity. That guy will fight anyone, anywhere, anytime. Izzy gets a lot of disrespect.
Hold on, has Whittaker fought Imavov?
No, they haven't.
Because Whittaker's 3 and Imavov is 4. If Imavov is 4,
they may do that, but Whittaker's going into the fight as a backup fighter.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I know he's not guaranteed a shot. Strickland's there.
Yeah.
Whittaker may hold out, see how it plays out, but a smart thing to do is for him to fight Imavov. I think he beats Imavov.
Okay, so you're saying Adesanya will beat Drakus and he'll get another title defense against Strickland.
Yeah, Alex Pereira, light heavyweight.
Alex Pereira, light heavyweight. Does he fight Ankalaev from now to the end of the year? I think he does.
I think he loses it. And I keep picking against Pereira. Yeah. Maybe me picking Prohaska was a bit of a piss take. But the Ankalaev one, I've got my reasons for it. And it's not even fanfare or me having my favourites. Ankalaev has a skill set to beat Pereira. Yeah, and I think he will.
Oh, man.
But
I'm not picking against Pereira. Obviously, I can acknowledge Ankalaev's wrestling. And if you went full Dagestani mode and tried wrestling for 25 minutes, you probably would get the dub. But I feel like he'd want to strike and prove a point, and he could get knocked out. That's my guess. And then we got the last one. Is John Jones still champion by the end of the year? He beats Miocic.
Technically.
He beats me. Oh, yeah, he will. He will.
If he beats Stipe,
because it'll be in November.
He's the undisputed champion.
But is he champion?
In the eyes of the fans.
Is he champion by the end of, let's say, midway through 2025?
He beats all of them.
He beats Tom. He beats Tom and he beats Pereira, yeah?
He beats all of them. But of course Pereira, he beats Pereira. And he beats Stipe as well. Aspinall's a tough fight. But for me, when John Jones fights guys who everybody expects will be a tough fight for him, he makes it look easy.
Yeah.
This is the thing about Jones, those lackluster performances, that he put in against Dominic Reyes and Thiago Santos were fights that we expected him to dominate. But when
he was defending his belt all the time, he was super active.
But when Aspinall's standing in front of him, Aspinall's got knockout power, he's slick, he's got good defense, he's durable, he can grapple, submission wins.
Yeah.
He looks like a complete fighter, but I say Jones exposes something that we do not know yet about Aspinall.
Yeah.
And John Jones has been around for so long. And I say, after
pound
beating
for pound number
Aspinall,
one,
after beating Aspinall, for me, he'll retire on that.
I think he could retire against Miocic. But anyways, that's all we've got time for this episode. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe on YouTube. Make sure to check all our socials as well. Instagram, TikTok. We post all our clips from this episode will be on TikTok. So yeah, Instagram, all of that. Make sure to check us out also on Spotify and Apple Podcasts because we post all the episodes there.
Instagram, TikTok,
And yeah, we'll be
Check us
back with a new. So UFC 304 is in like 20 days. So we're excited for that. That's gonna be a
we'll have
movie.
content coming out. Tune in for our little clips on TikTok as
Yep.
well. And comment below recommendations.
What you want to see. So yeah,
Take
peace
care,
out
guys.
in a bit.